Good morning. It is a glorious Saturday. Oh my gosh. It's just beautiful, beautiful out here. We do not have the air conditioning on. The windows are open. It's breezy. It's just lovely. Okay. Hello, I'm Jennifer. This is A Country Life, and today we are heading down to the garden because it is time to do pickles. So I've actually done a number of quarts of pickles already. I would say probably around 20 to 25 quarts already, something like that. But the first canner full, which would be 7 quarts, I tried a new recipe, which is actually the recipe that's on the back of the Mrs. Wages canning salt. It's horrible. They're so salty. We actually had one jar that didn't seal, and so I had it in the fridge, and after 2 weeks or something, we broke into that one just to try them. They're inedible. So I have to figure out something to do with 7 quarts of pickles that are so salty. They're just gag worthy, basically. So I went back to my old method of canning pickles, and I want to show you guys that today. I'm not sure if I've done a video on that before, but if I have, I will find it. I will link it in the description box for you so you can compare this one to the other one. I don't know. See how I've changed over the years. I was down here once. I already got the cucumbers picked. I have them up in the house right now in the kitchen sink in really, really cold water, just kind of soaking. I like to have them soak for about 20 minutes or so. I am going to cut dill right now, and I'm going to do one more sweep of the pickles, or of the cucumber vines, because they like to hide. That is just how cucumbers are, especially the little ones. And so I want to, there's a honeybee flying around. Or no, was that a bumblebee? That was a bumblebee, I think I just saw. So I see a little cucumber right over there that I want to get. So anyway, I'm just going to do another sweep through here, get some dill, and then we're going to head back into the house. Okay, so all of the pickles, actually they're just cucumbers at this point, have been washed. I took special care to be sure to wash the stem end as well as the blossom end. And now what I like to do is just get these all sorted out. And so I'm going to start with my little tiny baby here, and then I'm going to end with my biggest cucumber down here. So quite possibly, I think that this is the most beautiful thing ever, are all of the sorted cucumbers. So I did have to double stack these because these were all just about the same. And as you see, I ran out of towel here. So anyway, this is going to be all of the pickles. So I start with the littlest ones, getting them into the jars, and I just kind of keep going from there. And then when I get to, I guess just depending on how many quarts I have going at the time, I may slice some of these in half lengthwise. These here for sure will be lengthwise in half, and then these may even, this one might go to the chickens. It's a little bit yellow. Sometimes the yellowing gets them a little bit bitter. I might just cut the end off and test it and see if I want to pickle that one or throw it out to the chickens. Otherwise, these will be cut into quarters. So the next thing I have to do is to get my kettle ready. I have a boiling water bath canner here. It's just one of these enameled giant stock pots, and I'm actually just going to fill it with hot water, probably a little over half full, because what I want is when I drop down the 7 quarts, I want them to displace the water, and I want it to cover the tops of the jars by 1 inch. So I do think that the wide mouth jars work the best for making pickles. I only have 2 left because I've obviously used them all up here. So I'm going to have to use regular mouth. Regular mouth, it's fine. It's just a little harder to pack them in because obviously you have a smaller opening. That's okay. All of my jars have already been washed. These 2 I just brought up from the basement. Wash these in, boiling hot water. And now what I'm going to do, I put 1 garlic clove into each jar. And then I always like to pack them, like I said, with the like pickles together. So I do like to pack these in pretty tightly. I'm going to throw one more in there, and I think that's going to be it. Pickles will shrink, so you can really crush them in there. That's okay.
The inside part is juicy and clear like yellow ice, but it has a thin, sharp taste. At noon, Father said the calves had been worked enough for one very cold Saturday morning. When the calves were listening, they ran away the first time and cracked the whip. They kicked up their heels and ran bawling around the barnyard. And when we tried to stop them, they ran right over it, tumbling to death in the snow. They kept right on there.
Okay, and that's all the pickles packed. So now I'm going to put a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of pickling and canning salt into each jar. Remember, there's 1 clove of garlic in each one. And then I'll be putting in a half a cup of vinegar. Then I will fill it up with water, let the air bubbles out, and then it'll be time to seal them up.
Pierre said, "Don't run away." Almanzo said he went back to his place beside Star. Carved out, and they helped him stiffen up above the snow. Almanzo proudly cracked his whip and shouted, "Get out!" Up went Star's tail. They did not run away, he said to Pierre. They only ran to the boats. When noses were together, Pierre and Louie helped take the snow away from them and the sled.
So now a half a cup of vinegar, just white, 5% acidity vinegar.
Father opened the lunch pail. Then Almanzo began to pour it, while Father took the rest of the syrup. It was ready to skim off. Mother made it into a 6-foot wood pile, and very slowly made north side of the building for wood pile. Then the winter term of school ended, and spring had come.
So now I'm just sliding a rubber spatula here down along the sides just to allow any air bubbles out. And then I'm going to wipe each rim
Then the race began.
with this vinegar water. Or just, actually it's not even vinegar water, just vinegar on a paper towel. I don't really want there to be any little bits of any dill on there or any sugar or salt. And then when putting on the rings, you just want to do it fingertip tight. You're not trying to crank it on. Just like that. That's it. You also want to be sure that your rings are free of rust and dents. Whoops. Okay, so now I'm just going to gently tip these back and forth until all of the sugar and salt is dissolved. That takes just a minute to do all of these jars. Super happy with the results here so far. Did I count 11, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 jars. That's great. So if I put the camera down, I can actually use both my hands. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to get these into the canner. Alrighty, so that's what it looks like. I'm just going to put the lid. Can I grab that? Yes, I can. Put the lid on here. I'm going to let this come back to a boil, and then I'm going to let it boil for about 7 minutes. Turn it off, and after about 15 minutes of sitting there, I'm going to take it out of the canner. Okay, time is almost up, just 45 seconds more, and you can see I have just like a very kind of low bubbling boil there. As soon as the timer goes off, I'm going to lift these out, and usually I let them sit here for about 5 or 10 minutes before I take them out to fully cool. To put them onto a couple layers of towel or onto like a wooden cutting board for at least 24 hours before tipping the jars, checking, you know, removing the bands, checking the lids. You just really want to give them plenty of time to cool and to seal before kind of monkeying around with them.
Those are the only voices around speaking. Children must be seen and not heard. Father and mother used to course control, but one knows with one of the females with brown hair.
Well, good morning, everybody. It has been an overnight, still not a full 24 hours, which is what I always like to wait. But I did want to just pop in here and show you guys how this all goes down. So here are the pickles, and I can't do this through camera. Are you ready? Did you hear that? You can also see that this one has a little hump right here. This jar did not seal. These we will just keep in the refrigerator as refrigerator pickles. If I did have more to can, you know, more pickles to can today, I could just put this right back in, process it again. Quite possibly it would seal. Sometimes you just never know why, but a jar just doesn't seal. So you do have to be very watchful of that. And I just like to use my fingernail and just do the little tap, and it'll have kind of more of a metallic sound or just that kind of thud sound, and the thud means it's not sealed. So that is it. Today what I'm going to do is I will take these rings off. Actually, I'll just do that right now for you. And then I do also like to pick my jars up just to make sure that the lid stays on. I'll label this 2020 pickles. And that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this peek into canning pickles. I will put my recipe in the description box below in case you want to reference that for your own use. Have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.